Welcome everyone to this month's Astrocolorscope. My name's Elizabeth Harper. My website is sealedwithlove.com. So the idea of the Astrocolorscope is that in a moment I'm going to pick some crystals from this bag, throw them into a circle of houses, and then read the crystals, the colors, the energy of the house, etc., specifically for your sign. I'm also going to take a bead from my bead bag just for a little extra influence of color, see what else is going on. Then I like doing things in threes. Then I'm going to pick a card from the Voyager deck for your sign, and I'm going to ask you to take a look at the card and see what you are most attracted to in the collage of images, and then ask you what that means for you. Of course, I'll read whatever I see in that card as well, so we can put it all together for your particular sign. So before we get there, we're just going to have a little look at what's going on this month. So to begin with, we have one of the big things is Mercury is going retrograde on the 19th of May. And of course, retrograde actions happen all the time. But when it's Mercury, it's like one of those big deals, isn't it? That everything starts to move backwards. So it's in Gemini, which is its natural placing. So there's a sense of, it almost feels like, okay, so I'm going to be moving backwards a little bit through this sign because I love it so much. Communication slows down when Mercury starts to retreat. But in Gemini, there's almost a sense of calming down. There's almost a sense of, you are given this time to really focus on what it is you want to say, how you want to be perceived in this lifetime, let's say, how you want to communicate with your loved ones, with your friends, with the world, how you want to write, how you want your language to be. So you might find that this is a time where you want to write, where you want to write more, where you want to journal more, especially with Mercury, because it is a planet of communication, but because it's in Gemini, there's almost that sense of double communication that's coming up. So you might find yourself just retreating a little bit more. You may also find yourself biting your lip before you can communicate with somebody, or that you want to say something to someone and they're off somewhere else, and it's a little bit more difficult to communicate with them. Of course, traditionally with Mercury, it sort of messes up with the technical stuff. So, computers and cell phones and all this kind of thing can be a little bit out of whack, and especially if we've got any sun action going on that's going to send that our way, and then of course communication will have some problems then too. We've also got around the 13th to the 15th, we've got Mars, which is opposing Saturn, and Mars is a fiery planet. It's fire and it's action and it gets things moving, whereas Saturn, it's slow, it grounds you, it makes you really think before you take action. So with these two planets sort of opposing each other, it's almost like two people. So one person saying, let's do it, let's go for it, and the other person saying, no, we need to take our time. So there's a sense with this of push, pull, and you may have difficulty with decisions, especially as that Mercury is coming up. I know Mercury is coming up before the 19th, so you get that kind of preparatory, preparing action before the actual Mercury retrograde. So with Saturn and Mars opposing each other, and then we have the Mercury coming in as well, there's a sense of this month that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make decisions, to really take action, to really move forward. So there's a lot of things that are pulling us back. Towards the end of the month, there's Mars again square Neptune, and Mars is the fiery energy and Neptune is the watery energy. But Neptune it links with your imagination, with that vision. You know, it's a Pisces energy, so we can go off into la la land, whereas Mars wants you to get moving. So there's movement in your feelings, movement in your emotions, and there's almost a sense with this of forgotten feelings. So something that's been stuffed down is going to start coming up again. This is perfect because of that Mercury retrograde, because we are going to go more inside of ourselves, communicate with ourselves, communicate with our emotions. So I can feel that coming up in me as well, which is kind of interesting. So there's a sense of, this is a wonderful month, but we're going very much into ourselves and we're bringing stuff out, and then we're going to be thinking about how to move forward. Am I ready to move forward? It's going to be a little bit slow, but there's a lot going on internally. So, okay, let's get on with your birth sign. Let's get started. Okay, Taurus. So for you, you got this piece of Moldavite that went into your second house. And Moldavite, it's green. The second house is about, it's about your personal possessions. So there's money that's there, there's stability that's there. There's also a sense of who you are in that particular house as well. And you know, Moldavite takes you into previous lifetimes, into previous lives, not just on this planet, but on other planets as well. You know, you don't have to believe me at all. This is a piece of meteorite. So I think that is where that expression, that interpretation comes from, that it links to other planets. But the green is about expansion, it's about growth. And so there's a sense here that personally you are going to grow in your character. There's almost a sense of something is expanding and you're becoming more knowledgeable. It may be that you're doing some training and your education is expanding. Monetary as well, because it's green and because there's a wealth element to that second house too. There's a sense of, there's a potential to make more money. So if you're not in a job, then this is about getting a job. But if you get a job, it could be connected to something that you've done before, or a place that you've worked before, or even with a person that you've worked with before that's going to help you to get that job. I'm just getting a sense of if there's anything else. You know, the second house isn't necessarily about writing, but I keep seeing this as having a writing element to it. So you might find yourself writing to old loves or writing to people that you've known before. There's a communication energy that's coming in with this. And again, it's about a connection to people that you've known before. The next stone that came up is a bloodstone, and this went into your 7th house, which is kind of interesting. Bloodstones are green and they have a little bit of red in them, if you can see it. Another green stone for you. Green is the heart chakra. It's the place of balance. So we've got the 3 chakras that are connecting to the earth, and then we've got the 3 chakras that are connecting to the heavens. So this one is the in-between energy. So for you, coming into your 7th house, it's almost like you're going to need to be a mediator. You're going to need to be the big person that sees every side of the story. So if you've been blinkered in something, now is the time to see the other person's side of the story. I feel again with this that it's about going back into your past. There seems to be some ancestral healing that's going to go on here for you. It asks you to be in this present moment, but because you've got this Moldavite that's here too, there's almost a sense of healing your ancestral line. And you don't have to go back in time to do that. It may just be that you are a person that needs to be the go-between for family members, and you help them out or help them to see another side of things. I do keep getting this sense though with the greens that there's some luck that's coming in, there's some money that's coming in, there's something that's extra that's coming in for you. And it's not from a negative place, so somebody doesn't have to pass into spirit for this to happen. The final stone that came up is rhodochrosite. This is a real pretty rhodochrosite. It's got some gemmy kind of look to it as well. Rhodochrosite, because it's pink, it links with the inner child and with the inner child healing. It's an emotional healer. But what's interesting is it also connects to forgotten memories. This went into your 11th house. 11th house links with friends. It links with that need to connect with community, to connect with more people. So the pink vibe and the green vibe all link with your heart. So this is a big month for you around memories, about healing your heart, around healing your inner child, around connecting to your family, around connecting to a bigger community, and also a sense of education and writing. There's a lot going on that's connecting you to your internal life, but there's some kind of discordance that's going to be going on around in your family life as well, or at least your closest friends. But I feel with this, because it goes into your 11th house, there's almost a sense of you are going to get help, assistance from something on the internet, from something that's further afield than you, from something that's farther away from home. So it doesn't have to be the internet. It could be that you're going to a place like a retreat, something like that, that's going to help you. This is such a beautiful stone. It's really nice energy. So the bead that came up for you is a little violet one. It's a little tanzanite bead, and it has sort of a blue violet edge to it. Violet is usually a color of transformation, but what I'm getting with this is to say that your angels are with you, that this month particularly you are being guided, and to notice the signs of that guidance. So whenever you see particular numbers like 444 or feathers or coins, or you hear music on the radio that connects to angels, or all of a sudden there's angel readings everywhere for you to look at, then there's a sense that your angels are guiding you. Just take notice of that. So let's pick a card for you. I didn't do this already. So we'll take the top card. You have breakthrough. So take a look at that card and then see what you're most attracted to in the card. Then ask yourself, what does that mean? What does that mean? So when I look at this card, it's pretty obvious that you would notice the horse, but that is what I am noticing right now, is that grey horse right there. And what I notice is that he's grey and everything else is very colourful. It's all reds and golds and yellows and oranges, and there's blue in there, but he is grey. And horses are about power. So it's about coming forward with your power. He's breaking out of something. And I feel that that is what you're going to do this month. You're going to break away, break free. And that grey energy is almost like it's a grey area. So you may break free, but you might not realize that you're actually breaking free. So it's not something that you're suddenly breaking through a curtain onto a stage. It's almost as if you're on that stage and the curtain has already been opened for some time and you just didn't notice it. So that's the sense of it. There's a sense of you breaking free, but it was already there, and you're going to have that realization. Excellent. Okay, that's it for this month's Astrocolorscope. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do remember to subscribe to my love letter and grab your free colour kit at bit.ly/colour kit. You can find out your true colours. Also, please leave me a comment below. Let me know if the messages resonated for you. And remember, I have my own store. I have lots of goodies in my store. This is one of them. That's store.sealedwithlove.com. And the final thing is, if you want to train with me, come to one of my play shops. I will be teaching an intuition play shop at the Omega Institute in July. You can find out more about that in my love letter. Okay, I will see you next week with the Colorscope, crystal Colorscopes, right? Lots of love. Bye.